This is, you can't even see my hand, so it doesn't look as bad. Hey guys, welcome to the 12th episode of the Melee Stats podcast with me, SaveAsUntitled.
Me, Edwin Budding.
And me, Damien, Algebra 123230.
And Algebra, you're a new person on this podcast. We're going to give a little bit of a background for people who might not be familiar with you.
Sure. So I've been part of Melee Stats for a pretty long time as well. I do a lot of seeding for Melee Nationals along with Dingus Master. I play Samus. I've been playing in tournaments for about 4 or 5 years and with people who go to tournaments for about 8 years. So I was one of those people who was scared to go to tournaments or something. I don't know. But yeah. I'm kind of a mid-level player, but I follow a lot of streams and a lot of brackets and try to keep track of who's up and coming in every region. So that's what I like to do.
And before I pass it over to Edwin to get us ready on our usual weekend recap, I just wanted to make an announcement that we are officially launching a public Melee Stats Discord server to kind of have facilitate discussion between people about stats, maybe get ideas, or if we have a big project that we need someone to do like some data work with, we could ask down in the chat. But it's mainly for facilitating discussions on Melee Stats and kind of the stuff that we do. So there will be a link down in the description of the YouTube video. There should be one in the Twitch chat right now, and nice timing, Edwin. Like as soon as I said that was perfect. But feel free to join that. That's where we'll make announcements about anything else moving forward. But yeah, I think that's really all we have to say. Do you guys have anything to say about the Discord server before we move on?
I am ready to talk about this weekend.
Okay, let's get into it then.
We're gonna start all the way on the West Coast, the land of Damien. Except not really, because it's in Arizona, and Algebra.
I was actually in Arizona for part of this.
What? Oh yeah, you were. Okay, so it turns out it was the temporary land of Damien, where Axe, in a very uncharacteristic showing, finished only 5th at this tournament, and its winner was Army. So where do we even start with this? Are we going to talk about Army versus Axe? What do you have to say, Damien? What do you think?
Sure. So I'll start with Axe for a little bit. I did not watch any of the Axe games, so I won't try to talk about that. But Axe has definitely been extremely dominant in Arizona for a long time, right? I think someone probably mentioned a while ago that Axe hasn't dropped a tournament in Arizona in at least a year. And Arizona has done a really good job of flying out top players for their run back series. And Axe has, I think, beaten all of them. Maybe he lost to Duck.
I think run back 2017, he finished 5th also, but I can double check on that.
Yeah.
That was the one that Plup, Westballs, and SFAT into.
Yeah. But
and Duck, yeah, I have it here.
But I do remember that, in the last few years, Arizona's been making a pretty concerted effort to fly in top players. And Axe has been doing very, very well against most of them. Kind of as expected. Axe is a top 10 player. He plays a character who no one else plays at nearly any similar level. So it makes sense. But Axe also does have a pretty marked weakness to ice climbers. So last time we saw Axe and Army play, I believe Axe made a reverse 3-0 comeback. But, I mean, Army was up 2-0, which means it was already getting pretty close at the time. And Army has been making huge strides in his gameplay, in addition to, obviously, his very, very powerful Armada-esque punish game. He's been improving at, other aspects of the game as well. My nickname for Army is Armada del Duca, because his punish game is as strong as Armada's.
Yeah, especially off grabs.
yeah, he's at least as good as Armada off a grab.
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't want to overreact to this tournament. Like, it's definitely notable that Axe didn't do well in Arizona, which is kind of a rarity. But at the same time, like, heading into the event, I thought Army would be a tough challenge for Axe because it is one of his historically weakest matchups. And Axe losing to Medz, I don't foresee that as a long-term pattern. And it's not like Medz beating Axe is out of nowhere. He's won tournaments over him before. That the two have played with each other for a really long time.
I mean, so it's just like kind of, you know, the number 2 in the region sometimes beats the number 1 in the region, and that just happens. Like, especially if they're, you know, Medz. A lot of people haven't heard of Medz, I guess, compared to Axe, obviously. But Medz has been a very strong player for at least a few years now. I guess he's finally top 100 now. I think he was snubbed like last year due to not enough activity, but he was clearly top 100 level at the time already. And yeah, as Edwin said, Medz has done well against Axe in the past. So it's not like, oh no, Axe is washed up or whatever. Just, you know, sometimes you lose to your friends who you play with a lot, and that just happens.
You know what? You know what's really funny about Medz? Like, every time I watch him play, like because he plays in Arizona for the most part and doesn't attend that much outside of his region, every time I watch him play, like, it's usually the first time in a while, and I'm always astounded by two things: his speed, and the second thing is how good he is off stage. And watching this tournament, and when I say off stage, I don't mean like in edge guarding. I mean like while he is getting edge guarded, he will hit crazy angles. He will mix up his fastball drift on the way down. He'll sweet spot ledge from places that I didn't think he would hit. And it just kind of hit me while watching this tournament. Like, can you imagine playing Axe? Like, not just Axe's Pikachu, just Axe and all his wacky characters for like 3 or 4 years, maybe even longer, and just getting nonstop edge guarded by him or like hit by him for 4 to 5. Like, your recovery game would be pretty good by then, and you wouldn't be overwhelmed by like sheer speed, right? Like,
yeah, for sure. And and Medz is a fast player himself too. So
yeah, him beating La Luna, I don't think is too crazy. He actually beat him at Genesis 4, I think.
Yeah, it was one of the Genesises. I forget which one. It might have been 4. Yeah, that wasn't ultra surprising either. I agree.
Yeah, Medz, if for people who don't know Arizona's best players or outside of Axe, or they don't know their history of Arizona is typically, I think, really good against Marth, having practice against Ty in region, Taj back in the day also there. Algebra, do you remember how John Wick did at this tournament, or if he entered?
I don't think he entered. I don't think John Wick has been going to a lot recently. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen his name that many times recently.
Doesn't look like he was at the event from looking at the bracket real quick.
Basically, since Genesis, it seems like his attendance has dropped quite a bit, which is kind of sad because he's been getting really good. Maybe he's busy with life. I'm not really sure. But John Wick is definitely the next best Marth main in Arizona after, you know, Ty and Taj. He's really good.
Where do you guys think Army is right now, if you had to gauge, like, what tier play is Army in for the national scene?
What do you mean by, like, what tier?
Like, I think Army is pretty clearly the best ice climbers right now.
Yeah.
But is he, like, will he make, is he a lock for top 24 at a national, or a lock for, or, like, what's the ceiling, do you guys think?
It's so hard, especially with an ice climbers player, because if they if they just happen to run into a peach, it's kind of game over for them. I do think he's going to. Yeah, I think he's going to make top 30 for the summer ranking, unless he does like horrible at CEO. I think he's got that for a lock, and I definitely agree that he's the best ice climbers player. Like, Bananas did do well at Optic, but winning an event over Axe is tremendously more valuable than that.
But you know, someone in the chat mentioned this, the Cyan Yoshi 4. But what do you think of Army versus Ginger? That's pretty clearly Army's favor, right? Right now.
The head or ranking wise?
just ranking, like Army has had a better year.
Oh
this
yeah,
year.
for sure. Ginger has
right?
in the last since he's gotten his sponsorship, he's had a lot of really bad losses. Like I don't think Ginger might be. He's still probably top 50, but I don't think he's top 30. Maybe even not top 40. Let me see. I should have the list right here. Zamu, iBDW, Trillium, Dreffen are just some of the people that Ginger's lost to in the last couple of months. And I don't think that's a losses for a top 30 player. They're not bad losses, but top 30 players shouldn't be losing to those people.
That's a pretty high standard.
Those are only at like regionals and above, that right?
Yeah.
Or are you including locals too?
I don't think those are locals for Ginger. I think I have the full list written down here. Abate, Cobalt, Kage, Dreffen, Zamu, iBDW, Slox, and Trillium.
You know, the moment I should have known that Army was the real deal was when he beat Cobalt at that. He beat Cobalt at some tournament. Was it an Unrivaled? I forget, but he beat.
Yeah,
Cobalt.
he went to Florida and beat Cobalt. That was like insane.
And for those who don't know, that is a matchup that Cobalt is notoriously close to unstoppable in. I think Army, Dizkid, and Sharks are the only ice climbers in recent memory that have beaten Cobalt in tournament.
In like 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously Army doing really well in SoCal local tournaments now. Now he can take sets from SFAT, Lucky, SJ, for whatever that's worth at local tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Army does also have some kind of bad losses. You know, often he has lots of random losses to Peaches, some Samuses. Sometimes.
Some Samuses like who? Can you name one?
I can name YCZ6. He defeated him at what was it? Blood for Blood 2 last year.
Yep.
He also lost to Wavebringer at that tournament. Yeah, that was one of his low points, I guess.
Didn't he have a tough bracket at Genesis? I remember he didn't do too well.
Yeah, Genesis, he played against Maybe. He lost to Maybe in winners, and he lost to Dizkid in losers.
Yeah.
Sure, two pretty tough matchups. Army has, I'm still kind of uncertain about Army against Peach, Samus, and the Ditto, but
we might get
his other matchups are really good.
Yeah, we might get to see him play against Tugs at a bigger event this weekend if the bracket kind of turns out as well.
Yeah.
He is
Army.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say he's 1-5 against Hugs this year.
Yeah, but Army has been looking better and better against Hugs.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's better than 1-5. I'm pretty sure he won an event over Hugs.
Okay.
Maybe Tapas doesn't have it.
That was just what I could find the VODs for of like this year.
Yeah.
And last year for sure he was 3-14 against Hugs. So.
Yeah. Oh, he lost to Bunk. Sorry.
Bunk. Oh, okay.
No, Bunk beat Diz. Bunk beat Diz. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, I misread the chat. Yeah. So I think Army has a few more wins over Hugs recently. He definitely goes negative against Hugs, but it's been looking closer recently. And he against the kind of lower tier of Samuses, he's been doing pretty. Like he beat Gumi, he beats his local Samuses pretty handily now. But yeah, he doesn't really get to play any good Samuses other than Hugs. Oh, Army won a tournament over Hugo when Hugo lost to Biz and Chase. That's right. Yeah, that happened like a week ago. That was very strange. Yeah. I don't know what happened to Hugs there.
That's SoCal, dude. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah. Tapes is actually the best Samus in SoCal because he doesn't lose to Bizarro Flame.
So one thing I want to mention just outside of Army, we just got to get this over with really quickly.
I know where you're going.
None of us are surprised that absentpage beat La Luna, right?
Not at all. Absentpage is good.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would favor absentpage over La Luna, but I'm not surprised. Like, not at all. Yeah.
Now, I will follow this up with one more point that I won't go into too much. Do you think if La Luna had counterpicked to Final Destination that he would have won this set?
I don't know.
Well, he had only gotten one more win the game. What was the end up? Did he 3-0 him?
He got
3-2. Yeah, so
I reverse 3-2 or 3-0'd.
So probably. Oh yeah, because he get 2 games on FD. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't do that. He's dumb.
He doesn't like FD. Like even PewPewU counterpicks FD, and he doesn't like FD. So
I'm trying to pull up Ambi's tweet so I can read it.
Yeah, please put it up to the chat and just let them look at that.
Let me. There we go. Oh, it's only showing my picture. Yeah, Am Minister, the legend, Ambi Sinister. Can you imagine being a Marth main and having a 7-3 stage versus Fox and convincing yourself it was acceptable to not practice on it because you aren't an FD Marth? For those on the audio version who can't read that.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
I don't know if I think the 7-3 thing is hyperbole, even though ironically MutiKing and Leffen are 7-3 in MutiKing's favor in their last 10 FD games. But yeah, every time a Marth player says that or makes an excuse for why they don't go to FD, I always wonder to myself, like, can you imagine if other character mains said this kind of shit for just base strategies, like a Peach saying, "Oh, I'm not really a down smash Peach," or a Fox saying, "I'm not really a Shine Fox," or "I'm not really a Laser Falco." Like, it's just.
Well, okay, so similarly, I think there are Peaches who don't take Fox to FD. There are Foxes who don't take
Peach
Falcos
Fox
to
FD
FD. Right.
Well, Peach Falco, I think it's not just the chain grabs though with Marth. It's the fact that we've had a decade of watching Marth edgeguard Spaceys way easier and also just juggle Fox.
It's not like Peach doesn't edgeguard Fox at FD, right?
Right, but Marth has the ground game also, a much better ground game. Like I don't think the
Armada definitely counterpicks FD versus Fox, right?
Yeah, well that's Armada.
And there's lots of Peaches who are scared of FD for some reason, right? I don't know. It's like a little bit similar, but obviously Peach Fox and FD is not as lopsided results wise as Marth Fox and FD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just don't understand. We've had we've had more than a decade of watching MutiKing just trash Fox on that stage, and somehow thinking that other high professional caliber Marth players are somehow thinking that they can't do the same thing or not put in practice. I don't know. It just feels so ridiculous to me, especially as a Marth player. I don't care if I would start on FD and get 4-stock twice, I would still go back to the same stage. You can't let these people get away, dude.
Yeah, Koopa in chat is comparing it with ice climbers who don't wobble or Sheiks who don't chain grab in the Ditto, but I don't think it's really the same. Marths, they don't have it's not like they don't want to chain grab,
mm-hmm.
right? For ice climbers who don't wobble or Sheiks who don't chain grab in the Ditto, they consciously choose not to do it because they think it's lame or whatever. I've never met a Marth who thinks that chain grabbing an FD is maybe, but not in the last 4 years have I heard a Marth say that Marth chain grabbing an FD is lame, right?
Yeah,
they're just afraid that they'll mess up, or that
I don't.
neutral is worse for them or whatever.
But if you mess up, yeah, you can get blown up on the stage. The punish game is better on both ends, but that's melee. You can't be afraid of that. I don't know. Actually, I do know. It's definitely you're definitely. I'm just gonna straight out say it. If you're a Marth player and you don't counterpick FD against Fox, or you don't because you don't feel confident in your chain grabs, you're an idiot. I'm just
let him.
No, right
you're
now.
not. You
Twitch clip. Edwin thinks Marth mains are dumb.
No, you might not be bad. You might just be bad.
Yeah. yeah, but then case,
right?
Your problem is you're bad.
If you're bad and you know you're bad, then not counterpicking FD does not make you an idiot.
No, but not practicing the stage to where okay, whatever. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm clearly getting too emotionally invested in Marth.
Yeah. Basically it's like you're giving up a clear advantage for no reason just because you are practicing it off, right? And if you're a top player, that's pretty inexcusable, right?
Yeah,
if
if
you're a
you're a top
professional
100
player, like, what are you doing?
What I wrote was something along the lines like if you're a professional caliber Marth player and you're striving to push yourself to the highest limit possible or to what you perceive to be your ceiling of play, you cannot throw away such a obvious advantage.
Yeah, it's
And the other thing too, I want to run this by you guys because I wasn't quite sure I wasn't quite sure about this, but like I don't buy the idea that like this person didn't counterpick FD because they were or Moon didn't counterpick FD because he was afraid absentpage would go Sheik or something. Like in that case, like you're fighting a secondary or you're fighting.
I don't think
like,
that's not sound reasoning.
Yeah, I think, and also the same logic could apply for any stage, right? Like why is it
Yeah.
specifically FD?
I think we've kind of run this into the ground.
Yeah.
That hey, they're dumb.
Also, I'm sorry for saying that Marth mains who don't counterpick to FD are idiots. I take that back.
It's Twitch clip. You can't.
They're big, stupid, Dumbo idiots.
There we go.
Yeah, no.
We'll
okay,
get you to
it's
stop
okay,
playing
guys.
Marth one of these days. We'll change you. So, do you have anything else in Talking Stick Resort that you want to talk about?
Do any of us care about Ty 3-0ing MikeHaze or no?
It happens.
What
Ty's
has
good.
MikeHaze done recently? I feel like he's kind of fallen off. I feel like we
Mike
talked
Hayes
about this. Yeah.
Took a pretty big break for
Yeah,
a while.
he was just busy for a pretty big moment in his life, like releasing an album. I actually have it. I think it's pretty good. I would check it out if you guys haven't. It's a little weird hearing like someone you know in another context, like in another medium. Like when I hear his voice, I'm like, oh wow, like that's really MikeHaze. Like holy moly.
You have to bring up one of those videos of him screaming at a wobble and like compare the voice, be like, oh yeah, that's him.
No, I definitely like I think it's really cool. You know, as someone that's working on releasing something myself, I appreciate the hustle and I think it's really cool that Mike got to do what he wanted to do. And how he balances rap with melee moving forward or what he chooses to put his priorities on, I'm sure he'll make the decision that's best for himself. And by the way, like, you know, getting 3-0'd by Ty or beating Ty or whatever, like, yeah, that's all I have to say on him.
Yeah, he's getting back into it, like Zio was saying in chat. I mean, he moved in with, you know, the smash outs in SoCal.
Yeah, that's true.
SFAT, so he's obviously at least, you know, starting to take it seriously again. So I'm not like, he'll probably drop a little bit in the rankings for now, but that makes sense if you take a big break, right?
Yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense.
The jury is out on whether he'll, you know, return to his former level or higher or whatever.
All right, guys, I have 3 words to say about Smashadelphia 2018. Whack as fuck. Look at this top 8. Wizrobe, Dreffen, Law, Junebox, and Winner's Side. Stango, Free Palestine, aka Millhouse, Junebug, and Bones and Losers. Stango and Bones lose and losers. I can't front. Once I realized that it was just Sheiks, Lod, and Wizrobe, I just stopped watching this tournament. And I don't think I missed anything of
that's honestly not unreasonable. I mean, I do like watching Dreffen, so you know, there's that.
Oh well, yeah, I guess there was that set, Dreffen Wizrobe, but it ended in the most anticlimactic way, where Wizzy just 4-stocked him on FD to end the set.
Damn.
Oh,
yeah,
apparently
sometimes
apparently
Fast Sheik Junebox. Sometimes Fast Sheik just you know, beats normal Sheik.
God, this is such a lame topic.
Yeah, I haven't really looked into Smashadelphia, and like I'm just kind of like looking at this bracket.
No, I mean they're good players.
Yeah,
like
no,
Juicebox.
but
they're good players.
Yeah, Juicebox,
So,
Junebug, they're solid. Like,
yeah, I guess the 2 kind of slightly surprising things were Dreffen beating Junebug twice. Like,
yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty impressive. I actually don't remember if Dreffen chain grabs well, or if he does. I bet he chain grabs, but
he does.
I don't know
I'm
if
pretty
he's
sure.
I would expect Junebug to also be like decent at the chain grab. I didn't watch, so I'm probably just talking out my ass. But it's pretty impressive that Dreffen beat Junebug twice, I think. And also, Juicebox doesn't get much exposure outside MDVA, and for him to beat Stango is a pretty good win, even if it's not that unexpected.
Yeah, Juicebox is really good in that matchup. I think he's taken local sets off Zain like fairly recently. Maybe not like recently, but he's definitely done it before when Zain was really good, or right around when Zain was getting a lot better.
Yep. I mean, you know who else beat Zain as he was getting a lot better?
Yeah, Junebug. I'm pretty sure
No,
Junebug's
no.
still like.
Sorry, I was gonna name some even better players like Cool Lime.
The legend.
Yeah, Cool Lime. Who didn't he win like some fest over the weekend or
Yeah,
something?
I'm not sure what that was, but he won some kind of fest. That is true.
Those are the melee stats right there.
I think he won. I think he won a single elimination like random character fest or something.
I don't know what it was.
Hey, win's a win.
I'll ask him
He
later.
beat Toussaint at this fest. So that's good. He beat Toussaint.
Yeah, Cool Lime for
I
Sonic.
can't really complain.
Cool line for some. I think it's a little early to start the campaign.
Cool line. Cool
Nah,
line.
dude, I'll start it. Cool Lime's so cool. Even though he beat me at the gang, but he's a good player.
Yeah.
All right, I don't have anything else.
Okay, let's
I'm
let's
sad.
go on.
I mostly
I don't
just
want to talk
added
about
that
Smash now.
as a shot to Sheik players. That was mostly it. New England Invitational. I don't think it was surprising that Slox won. Calvar got the second spot. I actually thought Lint would get the second spot, but it's not too surprising that Calvar got it. The two split sets. Crush didn't attend, and I forget if it's because he had an actual reason or if he just didn't feel like going. Do you know anything about that, Dame, or no?
I don't remember. I would not put it beyond Crush to just not go. So
yeah, I mean, this tournament was basically like Slox, Lint, Calvar, mid-level New England, right?
I mean,
mid-level
Thorn
New
was
England
there.
is really good. Like Thorn's no joke. Like so.
I wouldn't call Thorn mid-level, but
Well, I mean, like in
sure.
I mean, like in comparison to the top 100. Yeah, Thorn is really good. But yeah, who out of these players do you think has the most like potential for like national or larger regional breakout?
That's interesting. Yeah, so like the first 4 seeds got the top 4 spots in order, right?
Yeah.
One funny thing in this bracket was that the players who also made it out in winners of their pools, but lost their first round in bracket, they all lost to the people who made it out in losers of their pools. So like if you look at the losers round 2, everyone who came through losers won that round. That was like really weird. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, that's bizarre. That's like exactly how the seating worked out. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's the people who did worse in pools did better in bracket.
Oh, right. Sorry, I misunderstood you. Yeah, that's weird.
So if you look at, I'll link the bracket in chat. This is just kind of a funny thing. But yeah, New England mid-level is very deep. There's a lot of players who are getting pretty good, able to all beat each other. Even some of the players who aren't even ranked yet, like I guess Silver is technically not ranked yet, although he certainly will be. But like Bonk, for example, is able to take sets off of ranked players somewhat often. There's lots of players like that.
I know.
So one thing about this was there were a few people that couldn't make it, even, or there were like a couple of people even outside of Crush. Like I know Claps couldn't make it. Swift Base didn't go.
Yeah, so a bunch of players were kind of invited as filler, or not filler, but to fill the spots of people who dropped out, including Yasu, who placed 5th. So he did get a nice Spacies bracket.
One thing I want to say about Yasu, though, is one thing I learned about him last weekend, and I think I like knew this, but it never fully processed for me. But a lot of Yasu's like training partners or like the people he plays with in HABS, which is like his crew or whatever, a ton of them are Captain Falcon players, and I believe he's really good in that matchup. He beat Golden pretty semi-convincingly.
Yeah, he kind of whooped Golden.
Yeah,
at least a few times. I watched them play like a few months ago. I'm pretty sure Yasu beat Golden with Roy.
Yeah, I think he four-stocked him on FD with Roy or something. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I remember hearing something.
I don't
about
think
his
it was
Roy.
four-stock, but he definitely beat him with Roy, and I was like, I don't know.
Okay, well, this is not a shot at Golden, by the way. Golden is really good. I'm just saying that I believe Yasu is really like strong in that matchup. That's one thing that stood out to me after like studying him and stuff.
Yep. But yeah, mid-level New England is very big. There's lots of pretty good spacies. The ones who are really up and coming: Tiramisu, Joy Boy, Big Voig, Silver. They were all here. They did okay. Silver obviously did very well.
I think Ricky is really good. Ricky's really good also.
Yeah, and Ricky is also really good for sure. But Ricky, I don't think has played that much recently. But he came and beat Tiramisu, so can't really complain.
I don't want to say for sure, but I know Ricky traveled a lot for the circuit, so he might be a little. I think near the end he was starting to get a little burned out, but because he was going to a ton of tournaments and was getting like that around that time. I believe he was getting really good. Like he started. I forget what his first really big win was, but I remember when he beat Bolt, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Bolt being another really strong CT player.
Yep. But I think of all these, the person with the highest, like the fastest trajectory right now at this very point in time would be probably Silver, right? So Silver is originally a PM player, plays Falco. He won the New England Arcadian pretty handily, mostly because he probably should have been ranked before, but didn't have enough activity. But he won the Arcadian with Falco, and then he came to this tournament and played Fox and still got fifth.
Wow. Silver has a few really good characters. He has a really strong Marth and Cheek also, along with his Falco.
And pretty good for a while. So it's not like a huge surprise that he made these runs, but yeah, hopefully he'll be going to a lot more for Melee now, because it seems like he's kind of scaling back how much PM he plays compared to Melee. Is focusing more on Melee now, so that should be interesting.
As someone who's not that aware of Silver's impact on PM or whatever, is he nationally ranked in PM, or is he just?
I believe he is.
Because I don't know if he's just like great in New England or if he's a nationally like.
Yeah, he's definitely nationally ranked. Let's check.
Okay.
He was ranked number 30 on the PM rank for 2017.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Oh, good shit, Silver. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew he played. I didn't know he was that good.
Yeah, he was very good. For reference, like Junebug was number 27.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for Silver.
I've
definitely
there's a lot of
ass over in bracket.
Yeah. There's a lot of top PM players who, can convert that skill to Melee, and it's pretty fun to see. So
I know that really bothered Professor Pro for the longest time, that people started associating him primarily with a snake over like his years of playing Fox in the Melee scene, which I think is pretty funny.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Is that really about it? Anything else you guys really have on the New England Invitational?
Unless do you have any thoughts, Save, or
no?
Not really?
I'm really not as informed as you guys on New England, so I kind of just let you have the floor for this.
Anything about Lint or Calvar, or?
Well, Lint is going to CEO, which might transition into our next point.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'd be after the speed round. But
CEO is next. Okay, after the speed round. But Lint's going to CEO. Look out for him there. We'll talk about him a bit more later. But yeah, Lint and Calvar are both on the cusp of top 100, so we'll see how that goes for them this year. Should be fun.
All right, guys, speed round time.
I'm ready to lose again.
Well, is this just one-on-one speed round? Is that what's going on?
Don't put yourself down so quickly.
I gotta win again. I can do it.
Yeah, you've actually won before, so it's not.
I
it's
won
not
the
like,
first time, and then I've lost every time since.
it's
Fire
okay,
was
Yeah,
an
man.
come
easy
on.
opponent.
I've never won the speed round, so you already have
That's
that.
fun. All right, so in case you guys are not familiar, in the melee stat speed round, I give 5 or 6 or whatever questions. Each combined, both participants have a minute to answer. So we try to get this over in like 5 to 6 minutes, and then at the end of answering the questions, I actually award points on who had the better answers. So you guys
The better
ready?
answers.
And the better answers is of course always objective and never arbitrary.
Yes, of course.
Play
Alright.
to your audience.
So 3, 2, 1, go. Question number 1. Who is the worst active player in the world that can realistically beat Hungrybox right now?
Toussaint, because he cannot win a Puff Ditto for his life. If Toussaint got a little bit more practice at that, he could easily take out Hungrybox. Just, yeah, that's mine.
Toussaint. All right. Okay. Damien.
I don't think Toussaint has that good a chance. I would probably pick like iBDW.
You have like you can.
Yeah.
explain.
Okay. Honestly, it'd have to be Fox, in my opinion. iBDW is a very good Fox. He's good at the Puff matchup. Plays with Toussaint a lot.
I really want to see like Toussaint enter a bracket at like a Florida local under another name and surprise Hungrybox. Be like, you gotta play the Ditto right now. Get ready.
Yeah, I think just because Toussaint took a game off Hbox at one time, like Hbox clearly adapted very easily to him for the rest of the set, and it was not close.
Okay. So okay. Yeah. The question number 2. When does Wizrobe win his first major, and what does his bracket look like?
Well, Mango's definitely not in his path. So after Mango retires, I don't know. It just avoids all Falcos. That's really. But yeah. I mean, with the highest level of play, look what it looks like as of now. It shouldn't be as difficult. But yeah, just no Falcos, and yeah, Mango is drinking somewhere. Yeah, he just has to give Mango, like, if Mango's in his path, just find the nearest bar and be like, hey, free tab, just right, let me have this.
Yeah, I think he would have to avoid Mango and probably want to avoid Plup. Other than that, he certainly seems capable of beating anyone. So I would guess something like Mewtwo King into Armada into Hungrybox or something like that. He could definitely win.
Armada in the path. All right.
Yeah. Obviously, he has not beaten Armada. Armada, the paragon of consistency.
All right, you get the last word.
But I think Wizrobe is not far from beating Armada and could do it even like this year. Who knows?
Okay. Across all matchups, who has the best secondary in the world?
You can take this one first, Damien.
Okay.
I take the lead.
Plup's Fox. I'm actually. Let me think about this. Actually, no, I'll just say Plup's Fox. I don't care. I'm a shamelessly fanboy over Plup. Obviously, Plup has lots of really good secondaries. Like the other kind of contenders. So I'm going to claim that Mango mains both Falco and Fox. The other contender would probably be like Armada's Fox. But I think Armada's Fox clearly has a lot less practice in some of the lesser known matchups.
You get the last word.
I'm tempted to really butter up my audience and say, oh, it's one of Edwin's secondaries, but the obvious answer is Ambi's Samus. It's just so good, so remarkable, the best of that color. I don't think it's debatable. He is the best secondary Samus. Maybe Chillin' Dude's up there a little bit, but
Chillin' Dude Samus has quite impressed me, actually. So
okay, guys.
Somehow.
Who is the best inactive melee player right now?
Armada.
What?
He doesn't go to anything.
Okay,
he's
Armada
been to like 4 events.
That's one thing. Yeah. The best inactive melee player is Dr. PP.
No, he's not even top 50 if he comes back. I don't. He's
Well, okay.
He's
So
washed.
it does depend on how long they get, like how much of a ramp up they get.
How much prep time?
Yeah, how much prep time?
Like 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah, I would say PP.
Or you guys have. I'll give you guys 15 seconds.
I'm still sticking with Armada. I think. I like it.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Okay.
been to like 3 events.
Okay.
If he was
PewPewU in
anyone
the chat
else,
is saying Drug Fox, who currently with 0 ramp up, it's probably Drug Fox.
yeah, he's pretty good.
That's
Armada,
very true.
man.
That's very true.
All right, so you're sticking with that.
I'm staying with Armada.
All right. And the last question: which group of people is more eager? Melee players to see UCF at a super major, or Smash 4 players to kill Smash 4 and move on to Ultimate?
Smash 4 players were like waiting to cut the wire as soon as that stream started. As soon as they like said that any characters, they cut the wire, and then they saw that Bayonetta combo in the Invitational. They're like, no, please, shake up the things, try to get them back, and it's just like, no.
All right, Damien, you get the last
Yeah,
word.
I think it's easily Smash 4, mainly because there's a lot of Melee players who are irrationally afraid of UCF. So yeah, Smash 4 players are clearly very eager to move on. But there's lots of even, top competitive Melee players who think the UCF is some evil thing. So,
Okay, that ends it. We're gonna review your answers. So, best active player in the world that can realistically beat Hungrybox right now? Save. I admire your faith in Toussaint, but honestly, I feel like the fact that the guy who beats Toussaint most of the time, iBDW, was not mentioned in your answer or not taken into account hurt you on this one. So I'm gonna have to give it to Damien, even though I don't think Fox would be the matchup that would beat Hungrybox at the level.
Interesting.
So
what do you think? Falcon?
Damien's up 1-0.
Damn.
Yeah, I think it would be Falcon.
Interesting.
And I think so for number 2, when does Wizrobe win his first major, and what does his bracket look like? Both of you gave pretty good answers. I'm a little surprised to see both of you faithful in Wizrobe's chances of beating Armada. But Save was clear to the point in saying that Wizrobe needed to avoid Falco and specifically Mango. So I'm gonna give the point to Save here.
What about Plup, dude?
Across all matchups, who has the best secondary in the world? I was waiting to trap you guys with the Mango's Fox card, but Damien actually called me out on that. Really, and I was really upset about that. So Save gets the point here.
Let's go.
So who is the best inactive Melee player right now? I didn't like Save saying Armada because Armada entered a tournament earlier this month, so
yeah,
it was a good gamble.
Bam. Yeah.
It was a good gamble. Damien,
nah.
But here's the thing, Damien cheated. He looked at chat and saw Drugged Fox. That was
okay. My original answer was PP. Okay.
The trick was to pick between PP and Drugged Fox, and Damien cheated. So Save actually gets the points here.
Holy shit!
And because of that, Save is up 3-1, so he automatically wins.
Holy shit!
Just for which group of people is more eager? Melee players to see UCF or Smash 4 players to kill Smash 4 and move on to Ultimate? I like the idea of Smash 4 players seeing Bayonetta and realizing that like what they saw is just completely like they've been betrayed somehow or whatever. So Save gets the point there. Congratulations, Save, for breaking his losing streak and winning his second ever Melee Stats speed round.
Let's go.
And now, in standard Melee Stats speed round fashion, you get a minute to talk about whatever you.
Well, I'd like to give my minute to Damien because you were so helpful and when we needed a guest at the last minute. So if there's anything you want to share with or talk about, go ahead.
Okay. Let's see. Anything I want to share? I guess I can shield some Samus players. Sure, I'll do that.
Like
I can't really do
Ambi?
anything.
My favorite Samus player.
So in addition to, of course, YCZ, who I won't even talk about because I'm too biased in his favor, I'm very excited for Dady and Morse Code. AD is getting really, really solid results in Europe. He's basically clearly top 10 in Europe. He's, working hard and improving. So look out for Dady for sure. And then Morse Code, originally PM player, has also gone really good in Michigan. He's fourth in Michigan behind the big three of Duck, KH, Ginger. He took a set off of Duck recently, which was extremely surprising. Amusingly, that night.
Uh-oh, Robo Damien.
And posted in his Morse code. So that was interesting. So yeah, those two guys definitely look out
Samus
for.
Is good.
You got one more Samus player.
Sorry, you couldn't hear me?
Oh yeah, no.
I heard most of it.
Yeah, you only cut out for like a very.
Okay, so did you hear the Discord story?
Some of it. You mentioned Duck and Morse code.
So Duck lost to Morse code at a tournament, and that night he came into the Samus Discord and asked in the NetPlay channel if anyone wanted to practice Samus dittos.
No.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
God bless.
Yeah, because Duck hasn't lost a Samus ditto to anyone, other than Hugs or Plup in a very long time. So he was probably kind of shaken up a little bit.
Wait, doesn't he dislike that matchup? I could have sworn he lost to Minty like 2 years ago in it or something.
Lose to Mint? I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure he lost to like some random like strong regional Samus player.
That's not impossible. That's not impossible. I actually don't remember. That might be true. He might have lost to Minty. But other than Genesis this year, Duck has had Hugs' number.
Might have been like 3 years ago though. So
yeah, it was probably like 2 or 3 years ago when Minty, had hands.
Rip. So do you guys want to move on to talking about CEO, the big meat of today's episode?
Yeah, dude. So we got CEO 2018 coming up. We got the first. I think Smash and Splash is like considered the start of the quote unquote like colloquial summer of Smash, but I don't think the summer technically starts until like June 20 something. When is the summer solstice?
You're gonna go by that?
Yeah, June 21st. Yeah, so CEO
the summer
is
solstice.
so CEO is actually the real start of the summer of Smash. So I'm pretty excited for it. I kind of wish Armada and Mango were going to it, but Plup, Leffen, Mew King, Armada, that's still Plup, Leffen, Mew King, Hungrybox. That's still a really strong top four, and there's a lot of good regional talent here.
Yeah. Is there anyone in particular, like maybe like the matchup you're looking out for the most, or a player you're looking out for the most?
In Phase 2, G1 of pools, I want to see PewPewU versus Zain. That's going to be really interesting.
When's the last time they played?
They played at Flatiron and PewPewU won 2-1.
Was it Marth Ditto, or did he PewPewU play Fox?
No, it was a Marth Ditto, I'm pretty sure.
Definitely
played Marth. You would have no reason to go Fox.
Hey, you never know. Just making sure.
I mean, Marths don't go FD sometimes, so maybe he'd do something around. Actually, yeah, I can't make fun of PewPewU. He goes FD now. He's cool with me.
Yeah, he does go FD now. One of my friends, cool kid, likes to say that in the Marth world, at the top in Marth Dittos, there's a strict ordering of who can beat who. And in the past, this was always 1 PPMD, 2 Mewtwo King, 3 PewPewU. And 4 used to be the Moon, but now it looks like 4 could be Zain, but he did lose the.
Well, Zain lost a
hybrid,
hype.
So hasn't even reached that level yet.
So...
Yeah. So he hasn't reached the iron law of Marth ordering yet, which means he has some room to improve. He has to reach that level where you always beat the people below you.
Yeah, it's we've mentioned it before, I think, in the Discord, but like there's no, I think the closest thing to outside of Mewtwo King right now, the closest thing to like someone who's good at the Marth Ditto just consistently is probably PewPewU, which is funny because for the longest time the the reputation that followed him was like, oh, he'll across a whole set, he'll never beat PP or Mewtwo in the Marth Ditto. Like even if he can take a game every now and then.
Mhm.
Like he beat Mewtwo at SmashCon 2016 or whatever, but they played one game of Marth Dittos. And like I feel like the perception is that he's not good in the matchup because he has a history of always losing it to PP and Mewtwo, but that's not.
Yeah, those are
That's not
the
true.
literally the
Yeah.
only two players in the world who are better than him at the Marth
Yeah, like
Ditto.
you can't say he's bad at the matchup because of that. I think that's kind of a flawed narrative that people say about him.
But we like to joke that it's impossible for Zain to beat PewPewU, but as soon as he beats PewPewU, he will always beat PewPewU.
Yeah, that's funny. I think PewPewU and Moon, I think PewPewU is up like 3-1 or something in their sets, but they always
Yeah.
go really close if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Be 4-1. But they're
But
like
recently,
that was ridiculously close.
Recently, since Moon has been translated into Spanish, his skill has gone down. So
I
he's
always
not in
say
contention
the
for
Moon's
number
a
4
good
anymore.
player, La Luna's garbage.
Yeah, La Luna is different than the Moon. Oh, dude, I'm looking at the other G1 pool match. Okay, do you think there's a single moment in Money Mike? How many moments do you think there are in Money Mike versus Leffen where Money Mike gets like a Twitch clip worthy combo on Leffen that hypes everyone up before Leffen just like beats him down?
Will this be best of 5 or best of 3?
That's a good question.
I think
Probably
top
best of 3.
24 is. I think top 24 is
Yeah.
best of 5, but phase 2 is
Yeah,
best.
so this is round 2 pools. So in 2 games, he'll probably get 3 Twitch clips.
Do you think any of the games will be close, or do you think they'll be garbage time Twitch clips? Will they be Jamal Crawford clips?
I doubt they'll be that close, but they'll probably be like a double 2 stock or something.
Just like look, it reminds me of Gucci versus Leffen. Remember when everyone went crazy for like the first 2 minutes, and then the rest of the set, and like when Leffen clutched out game 1 or something, he just whooped Gucci the second game.
Mhm.
I feel like that's gonna happen again.
Oh, Koopa says that Leffen hates when people do cool things to him. So that is true. I've heard stories about, you know how Leffen on net play, if you watch him stream, he'll go back to the same stage over and over until he can 4-stock you.
Is that a thing that he does? That's
No, I didn't know that.
That sounds
Yeah.
totally
never
believable.
That is a thing
yeah.
that he does. Leffen's kind of philosophy is that he needs to have like sort of total control and like doesn't want the opponent to ever hit him, or like at least doesn't want the opponent to ever get like a ray of hope or whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense. It's...
Yeah, no,
Dude, I'm looking in losers bracket, and I think Riobeat might have a chance at a good run because he has to play. He's projected to play Baraka and Shamunt or Shamun or however you pronounce that. Yeah, Shamunt. And then I think Cyrox. He's definitely the underdog there, but that's pretty doable considering Riobeat's strong amount of practice against tri-state spacies and everything.
Yeah.
And then he's projected to play Money Mike. So, Riobeat, always one of those players who's really good locally, but he's never had a good national, and he's really struggled with maintaining focus at larger events out of his region. So if there's a bracket that Riobeat finally makes his breakthrough, I think this one could be it. That's assuming Laud beats Cyrox as projected.
Yeah.
I'm also looking at Lint's bracket. I think this is I think that this could be doable for Lint to get 25th or even top 24 at this tournament. And obviously, I'm biased here because Lint is from Connecticut, which is where I spent most of my times playing Melee when I was more serious as a player. But like Bab and Crunch, he's projected to beat. And even though King Momo, I think, is a better overall player than Lint, Lint has a lot of practice in the Falco Ditto and is very good at that matchup. So I could totally see, and of course, it's such a high variance matchup where it wouldn't be the end of the world if Lint won, nor would it be too surprising. And then from that, he's projected to play iBDW to make top 24, which I think he's played iBDW before and gone close. I forget if he's ever beaten him, but I don't think it would be too crazy for Lint to to possibly make a run at this tournament. I think this is a doable bracket for him.
Yeah. Some lower seeded players I'm pretty excited for. Articanus,
Yeah, very good Marth.
old
player.
school Marth.
Yeah.
Played a lot with Drug Fox for a very long time. Doesn't really go to much anymore, but I think he's going to start trying to be active again. And this is his first big tournament in a while. So I hope he can do well.
What do you think of iBDW versus PewPewU? That could be really interesting because I know
that could be very interesting. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, because I know iBDW has worked on that matchup a lot. Like
yeah, honestly,
lately,
this might be very
PewPewU.
This might be very BM, but I think iBDW has a better chance against PewPewU than Zain does.
I think that's fair. No, that seems like a
it's
fair statement.
It's a little bit BM.
I would hold off on that just because iBDW. Zain's overall skill. I can see your rationale for that, but no, I don't agree with that. I think iBDW is still a solid underdog against PewPewU, but it's not in the oh my god, this is crazy if iBDW wins. Whereas Zain PewPewU, I think, is a
so that should be fun.
That's all that looks worthy of mentioning in G1.
I hope Money Mike doesn't have to play Zasa and losers. I'd feel bad, but oh well.
Oh yeah, that's North Carolina. Those are both North Carolina.
It's a North Carolina matchup.
Yeah, that's right. Does Money Mike have a shot at beating Cyrox if they play as projected or no?
Very low shot, but because Cyrox is
so
really good against Falcon.
Yeah.
But it's not impossible, you know.
If Momo beats Lint, what do you think of Momo versus iBDW? He hits Falco really hard. But I know Shiz has beaten him before, and Momo kind of plays that same like in your face, but still kind of zoning with lasers and using strong hits and DI mix-ups and like playing really fast and all that stuff. Right?
iBDW used to be kind of uncomfortable with Falco. I think he's feeling a bit better about it now, but I would not be surprised if King Momo won that if they played. But again, I wouldn't be surprised either way. They're both really good and they both play Spaceys, so who knows?
Yeah. I think out of these matches, along with Zain PewPewU, I'm really interested to see Cyrox Rio beat and Momo Lint if those happen. I think that could be really interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
One tiny side note. In losers, projected to lose in losers round 1 of round 2 pools is this guy named AB Cool, who is a Samus from the Bahamas.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Is there a
Wait, is he orange?
PR?
Is he orange Samus? Quickly.
I think so, yeah.
No!
Oh, he's probably better than Ambi Samus.
No, okay. Ambi's the best orange Samus.
We found some.
Still Ambi.
I actually forgot what color he plays. He might play orange. I actually don't remember. He used to post a lot on Smash boards.
Please.
Is there a Bahamas scene for Smash? Is there like?
Yes, actually, and he actually used to. Yeah, if you just search his name on Google, there's actually quite a few VODs of Bahamas tournaments. He was #1 in the Bahamas for a very long time, actually, which is interesting. He used to post on Smash boards a lot. He plays orange.
Damn it.
Okay. Thank you. Jeez. All right, we now know.
Anyway, but yeah, he's going to this, which is cool because I don't think he's been to America for a tournament in a while.
You know, I'm so sad that Stockholm. Maybe he's in another. Maybe he's projected to lose before. I don't think he'd be projected to lose before, but I'm so sad we don't get to see the Stockholm Syndrome Smash Bob rematch.
Oh yeah.
Stockholm
Syndrome is probably in the other half of round 2 or in a different pool.
Okay, well, by seeing Smash Bob's name, I have to bring this up. Sorry, Smash Bob, if you're listening, but Stockholm Syndrome notoriously beat Smash Bob's ass with Bowser. And you beat winning Bowser Puff. It's not easy.
Yeah, he won with Peach Puff and then Bowser Puff. So if all these Peaches out there complaining, you better stop.
Why?
or get a secondary Bowser.
Or get a secondary Bowser.
I'm so sad we don't get to see this rematch. That would be.
It's okay. They should have a salty suite. That would be fun.
Was that match streamed?
Yeah, no, it was.
God.
It was streamed. you can watch Stockholm Syndrome defeat Smash Bros with Bowser on stream.
Dude, like I saw the thing is like, okay, if you guys watch, I haven't made a really corny pop culture reference in a while, but if you guys watch Westworld, like you know how hosts or something will, or like robots will see something that contradicts like their very perception of their existence. Like if they see a photo of their own like designs and how they were made into androids, they're like, oh, it doesn't look like anything to me. Like that's kind of how I felt like watching the Bowser beating Jigglypuff. Like it actually didn't register in my mind. Like it felt like I was just watching nothing. Like I just straight up didn't believe what I saw. Like
Yeah, I think halfway through that game, I think
oh no, you're
like
putting
two
it on
stops in that game,
stream,
I literally
Zain.
stopped
Oh
watching.
no.
It's just kind of like a morbid curiosity. I want to see this happen. Like
No, you skip to like
No.
7 minutes in the set or something if you're
Oh,
gonna.
this is rude.
The podcast listeners are gonna
describe
Yo.
what
Oh yeah,
that was
he
actually-
did the
that's
pound
actually-
rest and died. That was really funny.
That was actually so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh my god. The
Yeah,
podcast listeners, you guys aren't seeing the video, but just whatever you do, like
No-
if you
Oh yeah. Just,
if you want-
just look up
Oh,
SpongeBob
look at
versus
the-
Stockholm Syndrome.
I didn't even know Stockholm Syndrome had a Bowser. Like,
Yeah, I
it's-
did not know either. I don't know why he did this
the player
or
count.
why it worked.
Stockholm Syndrome looks like he's having fun, and Smash Bob looks so upset.
Who is
He's
better
focusing
between
so hard.
Who is better between Noah and Stockholm, or Mega Xmas and Stockholm Syndrome right now?
That's an extremely strange question to ask.
But who
No,
has a
because I
better
know
Bowser,
Noah has a
though?
Bowser. Yeah, Noah has a Bowser,
Oh,
right?
they're Bowser. I don't know. I haven't seen
I
Noah's
Can we get-
Bowser in a while.
Can we get a Smash Bob versus the Bowser Gauntlet?
I need to turn that off. It's just
Don't be
watching a
sick of the
Bowser move
matchup.
like that. It skeeves
Oh,
me
I
the wrong
completely
way.
forgot. Bowser's down throw doesn't do any damage against Puff, right?
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
that's why the matchup's bad. That's it.
That's so.
That's actually
That's
hilarious. That's so funny.
Oh, no.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
so
no more talking
funny.
about
Yeah,
this.
do you want to talk
This
about
is-
something relevant at
Yeah,
CL
okay,
going on?
let's stop
Sma-
DMing Smash Bob.
Yeah, Smash Bob is a very
good
good player. I would love to, if I ever saw him at a national, and I'm sure he's friendly and everything, and just a funny note. We got None versus Army for one of the first matches and winners for Phase 2 that's projected. What do you guys think of that?
It'll be interesting. Army does kind of struggle against SCJ, but he's won a few times.
Hasn't he made progress in the matchup? Like he used
Yeah,
to lose
he
to him all the
definitely
time,
has.
but now.
Again, he's actually taken sets off SCJ now, and SCJ
Yeah.
is definitely a lot better versus Ice Climbers than None is.
I think
However-
None is a little better than the perception of him against Ice Climbers is, but he's
Sure,
definitely like
but
not.
SCJ and
not as strong
Wizrover,
as
I
SCJ.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah, SCJ and Wizrover are definitely much stronger than him at that matchup.
agreed.
Mhm.
None might go Ganon. Which could be interesting. I think Army has played somewhat against Epic Murloc, so I'm actually Army could definitely win this, even if None goes Ganon.
It's Epic Murloc. I know he's SoCal, but is he 805 or?
He's I think 818, which is like neighboring 805.
Okay.
And I'm sure they've definitely played lots of times.
Man, I completely forgot Cal was going to this tournament.
I'm
Yeah,
What has
Cal
Cal
has
done?
been doing some weird stuff lately, like going chic and whatever. So I don't know what to say about Cal.
Yeah, Cal's kind
like-
of iffy. I'm excited going back a little bit, backpedaling to Army. If Army beats None and then probably loses to Wizrobe, he's got KJH, who he won last time at Pat's house, and
He
then he has
destroyed
Yeah.
KJH and Pat's house. That set was not close.
Mhm.
He like stopped on his last stock. He didn't even wobble KJH. He was trying to like do the handoff stuff or whatever.
but then he
And potentially into Hugs.
yeah, into Hugs, which is we were talking about a little bit in the pre-show that although Hugs has a strong lead on him in the head-to-head all-time in locals, he's improving rapidly. Damien, you probably have a better insight into that than I do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I think somewhat often about Samus Ice Climbers. So I think the big reason that most Ice Climbers players have a lot of trouble against Samus is they don't properly know how to deal with missiles. And I think once Ice Climbers player like reaches a certain level or has a certain level of practice against Samus, missiles become much, much less of a problem. And I think Army has kind of finally reached that level, so that's good. Honestly,
what do you guys think of sorry, this is a separate topic, but I'm noticing another possible Falco path, Yort. Yort, if he beats Maxi, LSD, Cobalt, and Milkman, or maybe, I think Yort's got a shot at making top 24. Yort already made top.
He's got to beat Milkman. Milkman's a good player. Milkman's so good. I don't think he can.
Yeah, Milkman's a solid player, but Yort still, Yort already made top 8 earlier this year at SmashCon, or not SmashCon, excuse me. What's it called? MomoCon. He made top 8 there. Can you imagine if he made top 24 at this tournament? Is 2018 the year of Nort or Yort? Nort. Is 2018 the year of Yort?
What
it could be.
What subpool is he in, Edwin? I just want to take a look at his path and show it to the viewers.
G7.
G7.
Yeah, I mean he's beating Maxi and LSD. I've heard their names before, so I'm assuming
Maxi is the British Puff, ranked number 12 in the UK. He defeated S2J. I think S2J may have been very drunk.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, this was at some like UK local or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
he beat S2J at some UK local, which was
before
very
one of the
funny.
airs. This happened before one of the airs or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Right. Yeah, this is doable for Yort. Maxi, LSD, Cobalt, and Milkman, or maybe.
I mean, I don't think any of these matchups are particularly easy for Yort.
No, I mean they're not.
They're not unwinnable. So
yeah,
should be fun.
Similarly, I think both Big Kid and maybe could be set. Could have.
Oh, it sucks if they have to play each other. Dang.
Big Kid and maybe. Yeah, that's. That's.
Well, maybe he's been out of there for a few months at least. So.
Right, because he moved. Okay, yeah.
There's also a few of the Florida random sub-region number ones in this losers bracket. There's Chef Rock and Nagrilla. So
where's Nagrilla from again? That's the DK that's really good against Samus, if I'm not mistaken.
Not Samus, he's just pretty good.
Because I remember I think Nagrilla is the guy
he's
that
from
money matched
Tallahassee, I want to say.
And choked against him or something.
Oh yeah, he did probably get close to beating Hogs or something, but like, I don't know. It happens.
Oh, I'm just realizing if none beats Army and Army goes to losers, there's a good chance that Army might just lose to like Odie for 33rd. Like that's not out of the realm of possibility.
If he gets knocked into losers there, I'm really hoping he makes it up to play La Luna and destroy him again. I'm really hoping this.
He's not Tallahassee. I think Nagrilla is maybe from like Southwest Florida somewhere. I don't remember. But Florida, I guess we can talk a little bit about Florida right now. So obviously, the major region in Florida is Central Florida, Orlando area, has 4 of the top 7 players in the world, but rapidly drops off after that. But they have a number of pretty strong players. But even then, like after about, I think Crunch is their number 13 right now. They have a lot of players who are kind of high variance after that. So I don't know. I like Central Florida, despite being so strong on top, I think is a little bit less deep than a lot of the other top regions. That's interesting.
Kind of off topic, but I'm just curious if either of you guys have an opinion on this, because I can't really think of a reason. Why do you think it is that there's not as much depth in Florida as there is in somewhere like California, where they have a lot of top players and they have a lot of like the top 30 of their PR are just fantastic?
I think there's a lot of like good talent in Florida. It's just that a lot of them don't go out. Like outside of the main, outside like the top 10 or 11 in CFL, like most of them just stay in their region, and they're all really good. Like I think Florida has a lot of really strong old school talent, like not just the what are the odds guys, but even, and they have a lot of character diversity. It's just A lot of those people just don't travel that much. I think that's really it, right?
Yeah, and there was the second thing I was going to go into, which is that Florida has a lot of small subregions that are pretty isolated, that don't necessarily travel a lot. And there's like pretty good players from basically every subregion they have. So South Florida, traditionally it was, the Shiz was and his brothers. And he's still there. But now there's, like 3 or 4 years ago, there was Pork Chops and Bleo were the two big players from South Florida. But recently, Flipsy, the Ice Climbers, is now #1 in South Florida. I guess they didn't rank Shiz. But yeah, Flipsy is really good. No Gorilla is pretty good. I mentioned Chef Rock from Gainesville. And then in North
Chef
Florida.
Rock won. Which Arcadian did Chef Rock won? The CFL Arcadian or Florida?
I don't remember which one. Yeah, Tribal K in chat is mentioning Vu, also from South Florida. He's number
really
4
good
there,
Falco.
I believe. Really good Falco. Up in North Florida, there's a rookie who is the SoCal transplant, but also in his city, Pensacola, there's like Rice, Appa, and Opa. I don't know how Korean I should pronounce it. And Dingo Scum, who are all pretty solid players. Basically, like Florida has lots of these little subregions that all have some good players, but they mostly stick to their subregion. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just annoying to travel in Florida. I'm not really sure. But yeah, Jacksonville has Sinbad. They used to have Gage. Yeah, and then there's this dude Kyle Chase, the Yoshi from.
Dude, you know what I realized? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this just like hit me and it's bothering me, and I need to get it out of the way.
Oh no.
I totally forgot to do my history of CEO segment.
Oh, good.
It's okay. It's basically like a mix of, since 2014, it's hovered between like super major and strong and like big regional tournament, but Hungrybox has usually won it, and Armada and Leffen won in 2014, 2015, and it's a FGC tournament with a really big Smash event. That's basically it. Sorry, I just need to get that out of the way. So it was really bothering me that I kept this historical knowledge inside me, and I couldn't just let it stay there.
Whereas as Melee's leading historian, where do you think CO stands amongst like other I want to call CO a historical event, but where do you think like the legacy of CEO, what's a comparable tournament to it? That might be a tough question.
I think it's probably like a tier below. It's probably a tier below like Evo, Big House, and
that high, really?
Yeah, no, CEOs. If you look at like who's gone to it, it's hard to say it's not at least it's not like a nat. It's hard to say. I don't know why I can't speak. It's hard to say that it isn't a national caliber event, typically speaking. I think last year was the exception, because from 2014 to 2015 and 2016, like, it always had Hungrybox, Plup, and King in attendance, right? Like 2015, 2014, it had both of the Swedes. SFAT, I think, had a really good performance at one of the CEOs. Last year we had CEO Dreamland, which had Plup's Luigi, Hungrybox, King, and SFAT, I think. I could be wrong on that. So I would say it's not consistent enough to be a Big House, Evo, Genesis caliber event, but I would say it's still a pretty notable national worthy event, especially given its history with the FGC being incredible there.
That's fair. I'd probably say it's like a little bit lower, just by like face value name recognition. Like Sika's saying in the chat how it's like the big ones, and then like Shine, SmashCon, Smash Splash I'd probably put up there, but like Shine, SmashCon, I think it maybe be like in the third tier down, but I would default to your opinion on that, as you're more knowledgeable.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say how it'll be moving forward, because I think CO 2014 and CO 2014 feels like a tier 2 event, and CO 2015 feels like a legit super major. But CO 2016 and 17 are probably closer to what you're talking about. I would say by name overall by name recognition, I think it's as big as any other as most of the other tournaments, big tournament series. But for Smash, or for Melee specifically, I would say it's like tier 2 or 3. It's hovered around there.
That's fair
If that
enough.
makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Did you guys?
That's intuitively though.
Yeah. Did you guys have any more pools matches you want to talk about, or do we want to start talking about the big boys at the top of the table?
Well, there's 2 more pools. There's H1 and
Yeah.
H7. We can go by.
Go through them kind of fast. Yeah, sorry.
All right. Ooh, SFAT versus Deshizwiz. Does Deshizwiz have a shot at that?
No.
No?
I mean,
I'd give him like a 5% shot.
Yeah, that's...
yeah, I give him between 5 and 10% probably.
Yeah, I when you said shot, I thought you were thinking like reasonable that this happens. If most people have a 5 to 10% shot.
No, I think SFAT is the heavy.
Really,
favorite.
no.
I think SFAT is the heavy favorite, but I still think Deshizwiz like this is in the realm of possibility.
If you're talking about realm of possibility with Shiz versus Ginger, how much of the shot do you think Shiz has in that matchup?
I clue that he's lost the Ditto to Rocky, but if I had to guess, I think that's a toss up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who wins that. I'll give Shiz the advantage because he's got home field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ginger's been looking a little weak. Like this could just be a continuation of the trend for Ginger if he loses this. He's probably I think hope Ginger wins, but I'd like Shiz beating him. Yeah, like no bias though.
Yeah.
But
Damien, do you have any idea how good Gravy is right now? Or
I'm
gonna take that as a no. Okay, so
we lost it.
I had a lot of trouble.
Hit him with that, Mr. Destructoid.
Seating him. I just guessed. I guess mainly. Hello.
Oh,
yeah.
I think you're back.
Okay. Sorry about that. So I had a lot of trouble seeding Gravy, but I kind of based his seed around how he performed at Genesis, which was actually pretty good. And at Genesis, so he played thoughts on his Smashbox, and I think he also played some Falcon with a controller or some weird thing like that. I'm not really sure.
Dude, if he plays with the controller, I think his chances of winning just go up, but still go up by a decent amount.
Yeah. So at Genesis, he actually played some Falcon, and beat some decent Marths with it. I forget who they were. Maybe Chris Best and someone else.
I'm just a very short side note real quick. I'm just thinking of the future meta where we have counter picks based on what controller you have to pick. Like that's added to the selection process.
Oh no.
You have to strike controllers of sorry, continue.
Yeah, I don't remember if Gravy maybe Smashbox was banned at Genesis. I actually don't remember, but I do remember he played some Falcon on a controller. So given that, I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt here.
Okay, yeah. I don't want to like rag on seeding too much, but I just saw Flaming Roy versus Ostentatious losers round run.
Yeah.
Do those two play often in Georgia or no?
Probably a bit often. They should submit a conflict considering CEO is in like a week. They should submit a conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Although the problem,
like
so the thing is, it's in losers, so it might be hard to be able to change it.
Because seeding for losers is kind of
it's like
tough.
Impossible.
What do you think of Flipsy versus Tipman? I think if Flipsy gets KJH in losers, I think Flipsy
can definitely beat KJH. Tipman might be hard for him. I actually have no idea how their sets go.
Because if he beats Tipman, the Ganon, of course, kind of scary for ICs depending on who you talk to. Then and if he beats KJH, which I think is not, I think it's not unlikely.
Well, even before that, KJH plays La Luna in winners, and that could go either way probably.
Yeah. And because if Flipsy wins the loser of that match against the loser of that match, Flipsy has to play Sharks for a shot at top
that could
24.
Be fun.
It could be fun in theory,
how
but
good
not
they are relative to each other.
I wouldn't want to watch Flipsy versus Sharks.
Oh, I would definitely watch that.
Oh my god.
I think Icy's dittos are a hoot.
You're the very
really
small
funny.
minority with that.
Okay. So we're both in agreement that SFAT and Plup probably make it out in winners pretty solidly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plup versus Sharks
Okay.
might be very sad for Sharks.
Yeah,
doesn't
Plup
get much
Samus
Samus
is
practice.
and Plup Samus is really good at that matchup.
And Plup Samus is very good.
Okay, now here's kind of a mean question. How many characters do you think Plup could beat Sharks with?
Wasn't this
A
a
lot.
speed round question?
Oh yeah, I believe it was.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
said like
probably a
12 or
lot.
something. Yeah. I don't think
Sorry,
it's
Sharks is very good, but Plup is
Yeah.
just
I mean,
amazing.
like could be. Like, do you mean like better than a 50% chance, or better than an 80% chance? Or like, I don't know.
better than 50% chance.
Yeah, I mean, probably like 10 or 12.
Christ.
Like, I'm not even trying to BM Sharks. Club is just really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
no,
with
yeah.
he's a
lot
top
of
5 player in the
characters.
world, right? Like,
I like Sharks a lot, but I don't know.
You know,
Yeah.
Club is
that's
really
fair.
good.
all right, and then for the final phase 2 pool H7, Shroomed absent page strikes me as interesting. Same with Two Saint S2J. I think those
Yeah.
two stand out as
Mhm.
particularly promising matchups.
Yeah,
Or not
and
promising,
Crush
but like
has lost to
interesting.
Gatsu before. I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe he hasn't. No, he did.
So, Crush has lost him, but
Yeah,
I
it's
can either
unlikely that he'll lose.
I also can't confirm whether or not Crush is actually going to this event.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh,
So I
is he
can't comment.
maybe
I
not
can't comment
going?
on Crush.
Oh, he better go.
I heard it from Reddit, and Reddit never lies.
Oh, he
So,
better go. I already wrote the script for his portion of the video. That bastard. Oh,
Alright,
he
well,
I'm not sure.
he was 3-0 against S2J and Gatsu in 2017.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
if he does go, he has a very favorable bracket for
Yeah.
him.
Yep, for sure, for sure.
Do you think he's able to, if he makes it to Hungrybox again, do you think he can take him to game 5 like he did at Gamo?
I think he can beat Hungrybox, but
It's not impossible.
I think he could definitely beat Hungrybox. It'll just be really hard.
Yeah.
It's like a thing. I forget who said it on our last show. I think Wheat actually said it, where it's like, if you almost beat a top player and like you lose in a heartbreaking way, or you lose last stock, and then you play them again, like you're no longer hidden from them. Like they have you in their sights, so they will prepare for you adequately.
Mhm.
So it might be a little tough for Crush, but it's doable.
Yeah. Shrimp Dapping page will be interesting. Probably go either way.
Shroomed will go Marth, right?
Yeah, he'll definitely go Marth. Yeah, I don't know.
XL0 might
There's
actually.
let's talk about exciting players. So let's go XL0 first. XL0, number 1 in Puerto Rico, plays Peach.
Once beat PewPewU at Apex.
Yeah, he had some in the times he's traveled to the US. He's actually done quite well. And if he beats Keenan and Dash, Keenan's a puff, so that'll be interesting. But he might get drunk sloth in losers,
which I think is favorable for XL0.
like is favorable for him. Or do you think it's favorable for drunk sloth?
No, XL0 is good enough to where I think he could.
Yeah. It's Peach Ice Climbers, so there's definitely a good chance he could beat drunk sloth. And then he might get absent page, and he'll probably lose that.
Yeah, I think that's. What about? Dude, we could see Two Saint Gatsu to make it to top 24. I don't know if you know their last set. Two Saint. If you don't know their last set, Two Saint destroyed Gatsu.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
3-0.
Could be fun.
Well, it might be fun for Two Saint.
Yeah.
There's some other really exciting players and losers too. Magi.
Magi very good.
Can he beat
What do you think
Stockholm's
of
Bowser?
What do you think?
I don't think Stockholm Syndrome will try Bowser against Magi.
I don't think so either. What do you think of? Honestly, this pool seems a little more clear cut, or a little less upset potential.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. This one feels like it has less of the mid-level talent that could make a mega run than the other ones.
I think Magi could do really well against absent page.
What do you think of absent page Hbox if that happens?
Ooh.
Have they played so far this year?
Because I know when they played for the first time, Hbox kind of beat him solidly, but said that he saw a lot of potential in absentpage.
Mhm.
And say what you want about Hbox evaluating results, but he tends to be strangely on the money when it comes to picking up on talent and potential. And I
Yeah.
wonder how their set will go.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see absentpage beating Hungrybox anytime
No,
soon.
I don't see it at
Yeah,
all.
no.
But
Yeah,
I,
but
I
he
just
could
think
take a game. Maybe.
Yeah, I
Who
could see him
knows?
taking a game. Yeah. Absentpage is really good, as we've discussed as ad nauseum on this
Yeah.
podcast.
Man, it's a pity
La-
Michael's
last-
not going to this event.
What about
Last
Zam?
funny thing that could happen is Arakune Gatsu.
How do those two do against each other in region? I don't have any. Does Gatsu destroy him or
I
Or
think
no?
Arakune actually hates Falcon, so I would guess that Gatsu destroys him. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, I do know Arakune like despises playing against Falcon, so maybe he'll just get destroyed.
Okay.
But who knows? He's also a very solid player, and
Yeah. That's all we
yeah, like I'm looking at Overlords of Orlando too, just like a few months ago. Arakune beat Drunksloth, Flipsy, beat Maybe. Like he's pretty good.
There's
But
one matchup I
Gatsu
want
might
to
actually be the one player he doesn't want to play.
Yeah. There's one matchup I want to ask you guys about, and I don't think we've seen this in a while, but in top 24, this will be a good segue into it, but we have SFAT versus Plup. I think that could be really interesting.
Ooh.
SFAT, I think is the best Fox against Sheik in the world. Plup is by far the best Sheik against Fox in the world, and sometimes we'll just like he did against MikeHaze, he opted for the Fox Ditto for most of their set.
Yeah, I'm guessing Plup might actually just Fox Ditto SFAT.
He might, but Plup is so good in that matchup as Sheik. It would feel like a win.
Yeah, he is. I think he'll probably start Sheik, and if he thinks he's doing bad, he'll pick Fox, and also he'll probably pick Fox on FD and Stadium.
Is there any chance of him maybe going Samus or no?
He seems to have kind of abandoned the Samus FD counterpick in favor of Fox FD. I think the chance he'll go Samus is pretty low, but it's not zero, I guess.
I'm kind of dreading watching a Mewtwo King play Wizrobe again if that happens. I'm really dreading that.
Why is that? Oh, you don't want to see the Pichu again?
It's not just the Pichu. I just don't want to watch Mewtwo King Sheik. I just don't want to watch Mewtwo King stand on like one side of the stage, like charge needles with his back not turned to the ledge, but his back turned against his opponent, just threatening back air and then needle.
Yeah, Mewtwo King's famous
ledge.
back air at the ledge, back air at the ledge.
That's
King.
dreading watching him do that while with like jumps up and down in center stage or crouches.
If it gets us to have another Wizzy Hbox set, like I'm all for it. Like whatever we need to see that again.
That's true. If we can see Hbox, well, Hbox will get to play SJ right before, so maybe he'll be pretty warmed up against Falcon.
Yeah, he'll either play SJ or he will play Crush if he attends.
Yeah, that's true.
If he
could be Crush.
Who do you think has a better chance of beating Hungrybox, Wizrobe or Mewtwo King?
I still think Mewtwo King. I'm not ready to say Wizrobe yet. One event is really important and a really good sign, but like Mewtwo King losing his last, I think 3 sets this year is definitely not good. But through most of 2017, he was pretty competitive with Hbox and obviously winning a tournament lately over Hbox for Wizrobe is great. It's a great sign of progress and shows that he can actually like not just be competitive but be a legit threat to take sets. But I'm still gonna go with Mewtwo King.
That's fair enough. That's sound reasoning.
It should be interesting because Wizrobe clearly did a bunch of stuff that Hbox did not expect or did not even know was possible against him in their last set. So I'm sure Hbox and Crunch have been studying a lot to try to figure out how to counter that stuff. So I personally would much rather see Hbox Wizrobe because it's kind of more new and exciting. And we can kind of see, literally the forefront of a matchup being developed as like in front of our eyes. So I think that would be really exciting because yeah, in the last Wizard Hbox set, like Wizard definitely revealed a lot of new stuff that Hbox had not seen before, right?
Mhm.
I'm sure there's plenty of nerds in the Falcon Discord who have thought about this for a long time and maybe have even implemented it, but seeing it at the top level against an opponent who has really good execution, has really good game sense, is exciting for sure.
All right, I want to ask you guys a brief hypothetical.
Mhm.
If Leffen wins this tournament and Hbox finishes, let's say, second, Plup will have won Genesis, Mutaking will have won Summit, Armada will have won Smash and Splash, Leffen will have won CEO. Does Hbox still have an argument to be #1 for the year?
He has an argument, but it's nowhere near as sound. Like, the people are starting to question it now who are more willing to take that jump. I'm still on the fence, but if he loses, I was looking at the stats. Like, the last time he's not finished first at 2 events in a row was around, like, July last year. And he's never lost 2 events back-to-back like he did at Smash and Splash and Optic. And I don't even know the last time he's lost 3 events back-to-back, but seeing that happen, I would really take #1 into question for Hungrybox. I think he'd need a total reevaluation if he's not able to win this.
Yeah. What's interesting is kind of
Well,
in my
then
mind.
who's #1 if Leffen wins this tournament? Who is your number?
Yeah.
Oh.
So in my mind, Hungrybox still feels favored against every other player, but he's clearly losing to them.
Mhm.
Right? So it's like, ugh. It's very, I don't know.
If Armada wasn't inactive, he would probably be #1.
Oh my god, this Armada inactive thing.
He's been to 4 tournaments, like 4 or 5 tournaments in like 6 months. Like, come on.
The man lives in Gothenburg, Sweden. Okay, leave him alone.
Planes are a thing.
Leave
He
him
can get
alone.
here very easily.
Yeah, but like in order to actually play in top shape, he has to be here early.
Yeah, I'm
He has
just
to,
hyperboling.
all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot harder to travel than especially internationally. Like you can't really fault him for that.
Is it
if
really
anything
outside of? Yeah, go on.
Sorry. If anything, the fact that he used to go to like 8 or 9 or whatever American tournaments in a year was more weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like actually extremely impressive.
Mm. Kind of circling back to your question, Edwin. I think I don't think it's as clear if Leffen wins. I think if Plup wins, I think he's clear #1. I think if Plup wins over Hungrybox, I don't see. I mean, obviously, I'd look at the numbers and run it back again, but I think Plup would be #1 if he wins this over Hungrybox and finally breaks the beating him once and then losing twice in Grands.
Yeah. What's weird is I feel like Plup, if he won this, would kind of be #1 by default, kind of. Like, I don't know. It's weird because Plup doesn't feel super dominant against like Hbox or Armada or even Mango.
Just like by the eye test, he doesn't like feel like he could be the best player in the world, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. But if he wins this, then
I think Plup by the eye test is so good.
he is.
He's good, but he just doesn't feel like. I could see Armada being the best in the world. I can see Hungrybox being the best in the world. I don't know if I could see Leffen being the best in the world, but like, it doesn't feel like Plup is there yet.
I think Leffen, when he is not on tilt from getting Ken comboed by Mutaking, is an incredible player.
Oh yeah, no, they're all incredible, fantastic players, but I just, in the current state, just as a melee stats person, I by feel, I can't feel like Plup being #1, even though if he wins, it's what's happening. It just feels weird. If that makes sense.
I think if he wins in winners finals against likely Hungrybox, he will be hoping that Hungrybox does not come after him in Grands.
Oh yeah.
There's like a perception of Plup being like like Plup has shows moments of brilliance against Hbox, but if you look at like how they tend to do, not just this year, but like since Plup's Fox really good at the matchup, the record is still very Hbox lopsided. I still think it's weird that like it still blows my mind that Plup won Genesis over Hbox.
Yeah,
and, like,
it's crazy.
And like as time goes by, like I really think we're gonna look back on it and be like, wow, Plup actually got to counterpick to Pokemon twice. Like that's such a big deal that we just forget about, and it makes it. I don't mean any disrespect to Plup, but it definitely puts that tournament kind of in perspective, and it makes me realize that their rivalry is actually still very solidly Hbox favored.
Yeah. It's kind of a shame, but I mean, I don't think most people would count it as like an asterisk against Plup.
No,
yeah,
it's Hbox's fault.
Yeah, but it's like, hey, he did it here when he had that, and every other chance he's had to do it again, hasn't happened. So it's like, well, would it have happened? That question's always going to be there.
So if Leffen plays Hungrybox again, he'll be on a 7-set losing streak against Hbox. Does he? If so, guys, I'm gonna ask you: if those two play again, will Leffen finally beat him or no?
I mean, if you look at the numbers, the answer says no. I think all Leffen needs to just beat him once, and I think he can turn this around. I think just the salt and the tilt is building.
It's
so
just
much.
like, dude, their sets are so close, and then Leffen
every
loses
time,
and like,
every time it seems like he gets red
ridiculous ways.
Gets red once, sort of near the end of game 5, and then he loses. Just seems like what happened. I don't know.
It's so
like,
sad.
As a viewer,
3 years ago, Leffen looked like he solved Puff, and like he would never lose to Hbox unless he was playing like shit, you know?
Yeah. I don't know, as a viewer, to me, when I watch Leffen play against Hbox, I feel like it's the right way to play against.
Yeah,
Puff,
I agree.
Right. Of course, that might not be true, right? But
the results definitely disagree.
Well, in some I think he consistently takes the most average number of games.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's true.
That sounds right.
Leffen has taken him to game 5 like many times.
Yeah, and and the way he's lost those sets is just, it's like such. I can't tell if it's just like bad luck, high variance, or just genuinely him choking. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but I don't know.
I want to ask you, speaking of Leffen, what do you think of Leffen versus the projected match of Leffen versus Wizrow?
Have they played since DreamHack Winter, where Wizrow won?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
Wizrow is looking good, and he really wants to get that optic sponsorship. I wouldn't be surprised.
Optic athlete Wizrow.
Hey, I'm just saying.
He really wants an optic. Oh my god.
This is how we get people to beat Hungrybox. Just take away their money and be like, well, if you want a paycheck next month, you got to beat Hungrybox. And Leffen, he's got it.
So, Save, Algebra, who's winning this event? Let's end it here.
So I'm always wrong when I predict things. So I'm going to say Hungrybox is going to win. Because I mean, like it's the safe answer because it's the most likely possibility, and I think this event is going to be huge for, like, obviously for who's ranked 1 at the end of the summer, but I think for like trends moving forward. If Hungrybox doesn't win 3 events in a row, this is huge. The top 10, top 20, top 30 is already so nebulous, and if this happens on top of that, just all hell is broken loose in rankings, and you don't know where anyone is anymore.
Yeah, this is really if Hbox is to win this event, like, I can honestly say this is probably the most open Melee's been since, like, even heading into Apex 2015, Mango was still, like, off this amazing 2014 where he won all these, like, really big events when it counted. Like, I can honestly say, like, maybe heading into Apex 2014 is the last time I can remember Melee being ridiculously open. I guess like the summer of 2016 when Mango, Armada, and Hbox looked like the three clear favorites. Like as far as an entire field, like it feels like the first time in 4 years, like heading into Apex 2014, where really it seemed like anyone in the top tier of play could win. Am I forgetting something, Dame, or?
Yeah, I think since about 2014, like Armada was the best for a while, and then Hbox was the best for a while. So yeah, it's definitely
really
more wide open now than in a long time.
Or dude, yeah, like MLG or like when Mango won MLG and PP had won Apex, but heading into Evo 2014, no, yeah,
Oh, that was
into,
around when Armada retired, right?
yeah, when Armada came, like when
Yeah, that's
Armada
true.
came back, it was really
Yeah.
open, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, no, because PP was ahead of everyone else before Mango reminded everyone. I would say around Armada's retirement, it looked really wide open. Because even remember, like the Mute King, Return of the King, Hbox was still in college, PP was kind of struggling, Mango was a dad and stuff.
Yeah.
Hax
so I
was
guess
a guy everyone
right
was
before Armada retired, though, he was like clearly on top, right? That's why he retired. He was like,
yeah,
it's like not fun anymore because I win everything. But yeah, when he retired, it definitely looked very wide open. And then at the beginning of his comeback,
yeah, I think in terms of just variety, not talking about gameplay at the top or like, but in terms of just variety, this is a
it's a very exciting time. It's a very exciting time.
So
I didn't get to say who I'd pick to win.
Yeah, I was about to say circle back.
Yeah, so I would like to say Plup, but I'm worried about his hands right now, so I'm gonna say Leffen.
Ooh.
I'm actually going. You actually took my answer. I'm going to say Leffen, and the reason I'm saying Leffen is because I think his bracket is strangely doable. I think on the surface level, if you see the projected matches, you might see Zain and freak out. But considering Zain is playing PewPewU the round before, and I consider that like very close to a coin flip or even slight PewPewU favored, I think Leffen's chances of getting to top 8 from winner side are very high because I like his shot against PewPewU a lot, like above 90%. And then I think between Plup and SFAT, like I think that's strangely doable enough for SFAT where Leffen may get to avoid playing Plup, even though I think that's still also more doable than than people think. And I really think the only two like maybe scary opponents, the only two like scary opponents for Leffen are Hbox, or the realistically probably like Hbox and Mute King. And I think he has lost against Hbox for so long in such baffling, like high variance, almost unsustainable ways that I can't imagine that one of these sets, like he's gonna finally. And I don't think it's the same thing as the gamer's fallacy, but even if it is, like I just think it would be so ridiculous if he just lost another set in heartbreaking fashion. Wizzy, I guess, also could be scary, but he's not on his side of winner's bracket, so I don't see that as likely.
Oh wait, is Leffen entering? Oh, he is entering DBFC at this tournament. Okay, that is also a good point. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot. No, I'm still going Leffen. I don't think he'll. I predict he will talk about practicing for DBFC, get like 17th or something, be a little annoyed about it on Twitter, and then do amazing in Melee. That's my prediction.
How much Leffen shit talk would we have to deal with if he wins both events? Like how long?
It'd be kind
that? That would be awesome.
I would give him no shot of.
Yeah. Leffen is like
chance of him winning
SFAT level in DBFZ or a little lower.
Yeah. I'm assuming there's a lot of DBFZ talent at CO. I haven't looked at that at all.
Yeah, I mean,
is Hook Gang God there?
Hook Gang
God.
He's got no controversially shot. I think he controversially was initially picked as the 1 seed, right? Because based off a Summit victory.
Yeah.
I don't care about.
But we would never do that in Melee. We'd never overrate someone because they won Summit. It's wild.
Never.
Not those trashy anime fighters.
So Dame, are you gonna stick? Are you gonna stick with Leffen or no? Because I just think his path there is good, and the person who I see as his hardest opponent, I think
Hbox is.
like Hbox is his hardest opponent just on like in terms of recent history, like in terms of like being a sustainable problem and like having like a matchup deficiency or something in. I don't think there's anything except like maybe Mewtwo King that is a serious problem for Leffen.
Yeah, I think in terms of playing like fast technical melee, probably his biggest trouble in that, like assuming that's the problem that happens when he switches between games, what he should actually be, what I'm more worried about actually is Fox Dittos. But if SFAT can beat Plup, like I don't really see Leffen losing to SFAT and Fox Dittos. If Plup wins, then it could be a problem for Leffen. For them to play like kind of fast Fox Dittos. But I think even if he plays DVFZ, like I don't think his game plan against Hungrybox is going to change by a lot. Obviously, his execution will have to be very good, but luckily that matchup is like a little bit slower.
So he can ease into it, you know.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see.
Actually, is that even true? Like he got 3-stocked by Michael to start their first set when he came back from DVFC at Smash. No, you know what? No, I got faith in Leffen. Leffen's winning this event.
I want to believe in Leffen.
I'm taking the safe bet and hoping I'm wrong.
Dang! So two of us think Hbox, or two of us think Leffen will win. And Save thinks Hbox.
You just gotta like. This is why I picked. No, actually, I had the first pick, so that's why I picked Hungrybox for my fantasy team. But it's the perfect thing because if Hungrybox wins, I'm happy because I won fantasy. If Hungrybox loses, I'm happy because someone beat Hungrybox. Like, it's a win-win. I'm always happy.
Yeah.
Dang, I forgot about fantasy. I gotta for the listeners who don't know, Melee Stats. A lot of our members have been 8 of our members have been doing like a year-round fantasy team sort of thing. And CEO is a really big event, so it could actually mean a shit ton for how our teams do. And for reference, Save has Hungrybox on his team, and because the grading system's kind of whack, but Hbox, and that's partially my fault. But long story short, Save has been carried by Hbox all year, and the top 3 right now is Ambi, Save, and me. Ambi has Plup and a bunch of sick Fox players and a few lame players, and I have been dicked over by Armada not attending.
Because he's inactive. That's what I'm hearing. Armada's the best inactive player.
Yeah, got him.
You're gonna regret letting me win that speed round.
Got him.
It's gonna be another like 10 months till I win another one, so I'm basking in it. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
Can we end this?
Not enough. Let me say one thing.
Oh no.
SGDQ is going on. They have a melee tournament.
Oh.
Puncation was the 1 seed. Trico Man was for some reason the 11 seed.
Doesn't sound like
what?
Melee Stats wasn't seeding this one.
Yeah, no. Trico Man defeated Puncation in winners finals, but Puncation beat him in 2 sets to win the tournament.
What?
Wow. Never mind. Maybe we shouldn't.
Oh, also, Smashback was at this tournament. He was seeded 4th, and he got like annihilated. What happened?
Who's Smashback again? I forget.
Smashback is one of Shiz Wiz's other brothers.
Right. Yeah, the key speed and Smash.
He lost to Quaniza,
who's
like some mid-level player. Heard of Quaniza, I guess.
So I think.
Yeah, but.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Puncation, very powerful melee player, slayer of googly-eyed.
And with that, that is episode 12 of the Melee Stats podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. Just a reminder for those of you who might have missed at the beginning or just joined the stream now, we have a open Melee Stats public Discord. That was a very long way of doing that. So Evan's going to post it down in the chat again. But again, thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate it. Damien, thank you for filling in at such a late timing. Fantastic guest. And do you guys have anything else to say, or are we going to peace out?
Peace.
Peace.
All right. And